You don't?
No, I'm looking at our thread. Hey, Taylor,
says,
this is Matt with the Sevan podcast. And it says, hey, guys, thanks for reaching out. Taylor, this is Brian. Taylor, the platform we use. Thanks, just created an account. Oh, don't pull any punches tonight. I'm not sensitive like Jason. Oh, awesome.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. Sweet.
We have to be nicer to Jason.
So,
Taylor,
dude, I can't believe you go to my Instagram and where did you, dude? So why'd you pick that picture?
Well, first of all, but
it's the only one I look cool in.
You do look cool as shit in it. First of all, you told us before we started that we don't have to take it easy on you like we did on Jason, and we have to take it easy on Jason because, like, what if we have to interview him for the next 5 years and we just destroy him and scare him away in the first episode? But we got to think of us as Jason's the cart. No, Jason's the horse and we're the cart. We plan on monetizing the shit out of Jason. So we gotta take it easy on his ass.
Dude, I've ridden his coattails pretty far too. I'm here.
Congratulations.
Thank you, man.
So you have the smallest Instagram account I have ever seen. Ever seen.
Followers wise?
No. I've seen smaller.
Yeah, you're shadow banned. I can't even find you on Instagram.
But you have a picture. Your first picture is in August 4th, 2014. And it's you on a horse, then another horse, then a motorcycle, then a jet ski, and then a motorcycle, then water skiing. One thing out to the people. Yeah, a bunch of dead animals. For people who are listening tonight, I want to tell you, I on one hand, I want to thank you because this is all an experiment. And we're experimenting with different platforms and we're trying to work out the kinks. But be thankful that you're just part of a podcast experiment and you're not part of some sort of, like random vaccine experiment. Like imagine if there was something like that going on and they had to inject you and your kids with shit. I mean, that would be horrible. So this is just be thankful. This is just a simple experiment, audio podcasting video experiment. Brian Friend, do you know him?
Yes, we actually exchanged brief words at the Granite Games.
Yeah, it makes it sound like we got in a fight.
No, dude, in a good way. But like, I remember I watch all your podcasts, by the way, so I'm really excited to be here. This is my favorite podcast. It used to be Rogan, but he interviews some weirdos sometimes. But
we'll do that. We'll do that. Give us some time. You might be our first.
Definitely.
So Brian mentioned to me, so he's getting me up to speed on all the game shit. I used to be a gamesista, and I kind of fell off the scene 3 or 4 years ago. So he's been getting me up to speed. And this year there's a last chance qualifier, and we've been doing these shows where we analyze all the athletes. And I think if I remember correctly, he had you as a possibility for winning. He was hopeful for you for making it in the top 5 in the semifinal, going to the games. Is that correct, Brian?
Yeah, I had, kind of trusted some stuff that I heard from some other guys, and I think he was good enough to go to the games based on his physical capacity. I don't think that's what prevented him from qualifying.
And then Jason humbly said that when we interviewed Jason, that you beat him in workouts on the regular, and that he also thought that you were going to go. Like he saw his success, and then when we interviewed after him, he thought you were going to go. And then I don't know if it was yet last night or this morning. It's all a blur. But Brian said, hey, there's a bunch of new stuff coming out. We should do a podcast tonight. And I go, the last chance qualifier stuff? He goes, yeah, and other stuff. And I said, okay, let's do it. I go, what about that dude, Taylor Self, to get on and have him talk about it? And Brian goes, oh, that's awesome. Let's do it. I also heard through the grapevine that he's testing all 4 workouts today. So I was like, shit.
Did you hear that? Did JR tell you that, bro?
I don't know who told him.
I don't know anything about the workouts. He said that you might be doing them all today.
I didn't do the 3-rep max deadlift today, but I did do the other 3. Yes.
So let me pull that up too right now.
To be honest, I look at those other 3 workouts and that looks like potentially a normal training day anyway.
Yeah. I mean, the athletes that are in the last chance qualifier have been tested like 16 times now. So at the end of the day, I knew it wasn't going to be like 8 workouts or whatever. They're just going to give you some stuff that can create separation, I think, and see who can suffer.
But before we get any further, how old are you, Taylor?
I'm 25. Yeah.
And how long have you been doing CrossFit?
4 years.
And have you been in sports and like physical activities your whole life?
Yeah, that's yes. I played sports. Was not very good at them at all.
Okay.
I was a fat kid. I was a very big kid.
Like, what do you mean?
That's why my Instagram's so small. Well, okay. I was a chubby kid. I wasn't like, I wasn't rolling around in like a, a thing, but I was.
Did you wear your T-shirt at birthday parties, like at swim birthday parties?
100%. Yeah.
Oh, me too.
No, you were not, dude.
Yes, I was. Oh, yes, I was. And it only made it worse because then the shirt's hanging on your gut and shit. And you're like, every time you do the same thing, you're like, what the fuck? This T-shirt ain't doing shit except exacerbating my fatness.
It's exposing me, bro. That's funny.
Okay, so, and then you found CrossFit, and then what made you think that you were, I mean, it's utterly absurd to think anyone's going to go to the CrossFit Games. Like, it is absurd. You know how many people have that dream, and it's just fucking absurd. It is so hard. What made you think, what happened in your training that made you go, oh shit, maybe I'll be good finally at a sport, and this is it?
I actually was, maybe I started doing CrossFit to get into better shape to go into the Navy. And I was already I was in good shape, running, swimming, stuff like that. But I just wanted something extra. So I started CrossFit, and then.
Is that a can of Coke behind you?
Yeah. You like that?
Ryan, turn the show off. It's over. This shit is fucking over. This shit is fucking over.
Dude, I'm surprised it took you this long to see that, bro.
You're lucky you have an American flag back there. This shit would be over. At least you got some balance.
Oh my gosh.
Get back to that can of Coke. Okay, go on. So what?
Dude, well, Matt said that he drinks Coke and eats Snickers. So I was
just getting on the bandwagon
for sure. So I joined CrossFit to get in the better shape for the Navy. The Navy didn't end up working out for a few reasons, and I was doing CrossFit a lot at that point. I think I've been maybe doing it for like a year. So I was like probably doing 2 workouts a day, just like for fun. I don't know. It's weird. A lot of people wouldn't think that'd be fun, but so I was just like, oh, I'll try to, I think that was 2018. Yeah. I was like, I'll try to go to regionals, and then I did pretty well in a couple of the open workouts and then got hurt. And
when was this? What year? You said 2018?
2018. Yeah. 2018. I was really raw and fresh, and also had, was not strong. So there were some huge holes. And then, I got hurt, and I was like, I don't know. I just like it. I just love CrossFit. I love CrossFit, the methodology. I love CrossFit, the company, and I've been really lucky to be with some amazing mentors in the CrossFit community for sure.
But did you have like, did you like do Fran the first time and it was 9 minutes, and the second time it was 4 minutes, and all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, maybe I can make it to the games?
I've thought I could be pretty good, and I've had people at that point tell me I could probably make it to regionals. But I just really I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I love CrossFit, dude. I love working out. And over the past year and before that, I had some people kind of tell me that and believe in me. That helped for sure.
And do you still live at home with your parents?
No, nope. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, that's weird. 25. You seem a little young to be out of the house. Do they know that you're doing this? What? It is. I was at home till I was 34. I would come home for like a year, get kicked out, come home, get kicked out, come home, get kicked out.
So I lived out of my mom's house for like a few months before I moved to North Carolina. I live in North Carolina now, and I've lived here for 2 years. But yeah, she knows. She's super supportive. It's really cool because like when I grew up, I sucked at sports. My sister was really good, so I always got dragged around going to her like events, and like they just watched every single dive meet and whatever. She dove in college, and so it's cool that that I see like the support that she showed my sister. She shows the same for me. Like she's invested. It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, that is awesome. It makes you proud, right? Makes you proud that you're making your mom proud.
Yeah, for sure.
Where did you move from? Let me guess. I'm looking at these pictures. Alabama. Where do you come? Wait. What? Dead animals. Ghetto water skiing.
Dude, that's not ghetto. That's slalom skiing isn't ghetto. But anyways, actually Virginia. My parents are from South Carolina, but I grew up in Virginia.
Okay. And so you find CrossFit 4 years ago, you start going hard. Around 2018, you have some goals. Yeah. You're still too raw and you hurt yourself. And then, but you don't quit and you keep going. And I think, I don't remember what the numbers are. Maybe Brian has them, but you made a significant increase in your performance this year versus last year. Is that true, Brian? Like, I mean, I think I was looking at his open numbers.
I thought I killed it in 2020.
No, you had one bad workout.
Yeah, I had knee surgery. I had a huge. So in 2019, in 2018, after I got hurt in the Open, I qualified for Granite Games, the pro division, which is not really that. It wasn't anything crazy. It wasn't like a sanctional or anything. They were inviting games athletes, so that was like my first big competition, the only one I had done. And then like 6 months later, maybe. So that was like September 2018. So then late winter, just early 2019, I qualified for the MAC, which was going to be a sanctionals, like one of the first sanctionals. And 2 days before that, I was skateboarding and blew my knee out entirely. My entire left knee, like everything. I was going like 30 down this hill on this little, not a longboard, like a regular skateboard. I grew up skateboarding, got the old speed wobbles and had to jump off because I wasn't wearing a helmet. And
I'd like to see some posts on your Instagram. Do you think you could put a post of you skateboarding?
Of me like doing a kickflip?
Anything. That would be cool.
Would you think that would be cool? Or like an ollie?
I would like you more. Anything. I would just like you more.
At least wait till next week. And if this weekend goes well, wait till August.
Yeah. Well, I don't skateboard anymore. That's for sure. I don't fucking skateboard anymore. But dude, I live vicariously through your Instagram, actually, Sevan. That's why I don't post that much, because everything that I feel like I need to say, you say it.
Oh, thank you. And you won't get shadow banned.
Exactly, dude.
So, but wasn't it in 2020? Didn't you you were in the thousandths in the Open? Like you were 2000th.
I had one leg, so the pistol workout, I couldn't do a single pistol squat. Which, yeah, I mean, there's no excuse there. But I just fucking wasn't ready.
And then, how did you do in 21? Do you see those numbers, Brian? How did you do in the Open
this year?
Yeah,
he was in the top 50.
Wow. And that's in the world?
The skin of my teeth.
Yeah, 49th worldwide. And a majority of his points came on the lifting complex at 21.4. He had 161st, 13th, 62nd. So 3 phenomenal performances on the 3 more, work capacity workouts, and then 820th on the lifting.
And what was the lifting workout that year?
But so this is the interesting thing about that lifting workout. Pat Vellner had a similarly bad performance on it, but I know that he had hit one, he just missed the jerk barely at 40 pounds, 30 or 40 pounds more than whatever he'd actually posted.
Yeah, I didn't miss any. I nailed 282 and stopped there. I didn't miss any, bro.
Awesome.
I just powered it all. I have quite a bit more in the tank for sure. But that was embarrassing.
So you could have done a squat clean. I don't know what the workout is, but from what I'm hearing,
it was
you could have done a squat clean, but you didn't really squat clean. You just power clean.
It was a deadlift, clean, hang clean, jerk, and I just powered it all. I could have broken 300 for sure. But
it was good enough. It was good enough, and that's what Pat said too.
Played the safe card. Yeah, it was the Open. Yeah.
And then I think from the notes Brian sent out this morning about you missed going to the games this year by, is it 5 points?
6 points.
6 points.
Yeah. Little kick in the nuts right there, huh?
Is that
should have been 1 point.
It's funny because I when that first happened, I was like, oh my God, are all the last chance qualifier people like bummed because now they have to deal with the last chance qualifier?
No.
And I kept getting this sort of like, no, they're not bummed. And then, but I don't believe it. I have to think you're like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah,
I mean,
so
on one hand, you're excited, but
dude, yeah, I could answer that really well.
Okay.
I mean, I think, I was really, I just didn't have a lot of, really no competitive experience. Like I did Granite Games in 2018, and that was some experience, but really what I learned there was that I sucked and I need to get better. And I didn't really I don't know, I wasn't really there to compete. It was like, oh, Travis Mayer is going to be there and all these other guys. I'm like, well, I have no fucking chance to win. So yeah, you love that guy.
Yeah, his name has to be said in every podcast, and you just checked it off. It's like
Travis,
at the top
Travis
of every
Meyer.
sheet.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, so at this year, I mean, I was pretty confident in my fitness for sure. I just made one really big mental error on the thruster workout. Just went out too hot, and I really don't do that in workouts. Typically, I'm the opposite, which I was the rest of the weekend. But I went out too hot and kind of blew that up. And then on a couple other events, I didn't sprint through the finish line and had like a couple workouts where I was like a tenth of a second slower than someone else. Where I jogged across. So just learning things like that. And yeah, I was bummed out, but I knew it wasn't anybody else's fault. You know what I mean? I'm not like blaming anybody other than me being a dumbass on the thruster workout. And
it's okay to blame the games team for anything you want. That's what most of the
Dude,
athletes
see,
do.
I'm not that athlete.
Get attention.
I resent that.
You're never going to get Instagram fame if you don't start just blaming Dave and the games team for some shit.
Dude, right? I resent that, to be honest. I'm glad you brought that up. I really, really resent that.
A friend of mine told me, and I've said this story before, and Brian and I are going to probably get into a fight here, but Brian hopefully will not even listen to what I'm saying and just move on to his next question. But a friend of mine who's a professional arm wrestler said, hey, there's always two people you have to beat. I'm like, two people? There's only one guy across the table. He's all, dude, you got to beat the referee and the guy.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like, and you see that in fighting all the time. Someone loses a decision and they're like, hey, it's my fault. I should have knocked that fucker out.
Yeah, that's for sure. But they take the ownership. Like, you got to take the ownership. If you're not fit enough to survive the mistakes, I wasn't fit enough to survive my mistakes at Granite Games, and I need to be.
Or even the administration's mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. You need to be fit enough. It's part of the game for sure. I mean, you don't look at the best in the sport, you don't hear that shit from them because they're winning.
Right. Well, sometimes you do.
Yeah. Well.
Brian, were you talking? Was it his first workout that you were telling me about?
Yeah.
Was that the thruster one?
No, the first workout was a snatch, and he was very impressive. I think he hit 295.
Yeah, it was a 10-pound PR. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, and it looked like a good snatch. So I mean, and this was the thing of, I hadn't seen you compete in person before that. So to see that right away, I was like, oh, if you can hang and snatch over 290 when the pressure's on and you have like a limited amount of attempts, especially because I know it's so difficult to line up in the corral, wait all that time, get walked across that massive field. You're like kind of cold, and then you only have 3 lifts. So I was like, oh, this is a really good start to the weekend. And the fact I was basically watching you there. I was like, if he finishes in the top 10 in the snatch, I think that he might have a chance. And you did.
Yeah. I think I just carried that adrenaline a little bit too hard into the second workout.
So the second workout was the thruster one?
Yeah, right after.
Brian, didn't you say something to me that you were wondering how he was after that day? You were wondering how his mental status, or what did you say to me? You said something to me about him.
The workout was just, it was a unique workout to watch because you saw someone like Mal O'Brien who went out fast and stayed fast and won the workout. You saw someone like Taylor who went out fast and then, couldn't hold on, and it was his worst workout of the weekend by far. But you saw a lot of athletes like Tim Paulson and Alessandro Pacelli start very slow, like last or second to last in their heat, and finish top 5 in the workout by the end of the workout overall.
That's what I should have done. And I know I had the fitness to approach the workout that way and do really well. So that's what I should have done. I learned that lesson.
It's interesting you say that because and I hate to misrepresent Danielle, Brandon, or Jason Hopper, but there's 2 things that I feel like I heard from them where they basically said, hey man, we don't even know how good or how bad we are. Like, it's almost like they're not even themselves. Like they're taking their race car out onto the track and they're not sure what the top speed is. And so maybe that's also part of your situation too. Like how much, I mean, like.
Yeah, I did. I thought, I mean, going to the event, I wanted to win that event. And I think, yeah, I think that was, I didn't know clearly that I couldn't hold that pace. I mean, I like to think I'm not stupid. I felt stupid after that.
Well, it's like you said, it's your experience. You're young, and you've only been getting fitter. So, like,
yeah, no doubt.
And look at your 295 snatch. You didn't know if you could do that either, and you did it, right?
I was pretty proud of that. In 2018 at Granite Games, I snatched 255. The guy next to me, Anthony Davis, was actually there, and he snatched 325 in my fucking face, dude, and like was jumping all over the place. I'm sitting there failing 265. Pretty funny.
Is that scary? Who told you to? What was your lift before 295?
285. I did 275. Wait. I don't know.
Don't worry, Brian will tell you. Brian will tell you what your lifts are.
Did I do? Did I do 260? I think I did 265, 285, 295.
I feel like a lot of people made that choice just because of probably how cold they were going into the first lift. They needed to be sure they hit it.
265 is now my power snatch, so I knew I had 265. I think 285 was my PR, and it was a long time ago, so I knew I had quite a bit more. So I was confident. I've been under 295 before that a couple times.
Yeah, that sounds confident. So does someone tell you, is there a coach from the sideline saying, okay, Taylor, you got to go for 295 now?
No, we had it planned out. It was pretty much, I had locked it in. We were going to go 265, 85, 95.
Wow. Do you think you could have just gone out there and done 295, or you needed that warm up?
That's a good question. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, 285 felt better than 265, so I probably needed that first two lifts, probably. Yeah.
And then once you struggled on that thruster workout, and this is actually, I think Brian was talking about it right after it happened, or he mentioned to me that evening, oh shit, now we're going to see if he can pull his head out of his ass. Like how much
I didn't pull my head out of my ass.
How much does that head fuck him?
It fucked me big time, dude. My head was in my ass all weekend, bro. After that second workout, I was like, damn, I lost to like some guys that I've never heard of by over a minute. So I had that.
Do you ever get your heads? Do you ever get your head straight, or do you just leverage that to work even harder? Like how do you come out of that?
I was battling it. I think I was battling it all weekend. I was fighting the negativity for sure, and it definitely carried over to my workouts. I don't feel like I attacked any of the workouts at that point. In fact, every workout I was in, I probably started the workout in last place and then pulled out towards the end of the workout. So I just was not starting them aggressively, fearful maybe not to fuck it up. Learn that big lesson.
And do you think you learned that, or you can't tell if you learned it until you're put in that situation again?
Oh, I definitely learned it.
You did. Awesome.
I definitely learned that lesson, dude. Don't you worry.
It's not bad. I mean, that lesson has to be learned by most people.
Yeah, that's what that's what my boss said. Same thing. He's like, that's a really good lesson to learn, and it's pretty hard to learn it unless you make the mistake. It's hard to learn it from somebody else. He's right.
Who's your boss?
Andy Hendel. You know him, right?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, he's the man.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's who you're working with?
Hell yeah. Andy Hendel. And I work with him, and then I have another coach, John Main, who was a longtime staff member, quiet guy over in California. Love him. But
have you seen Andy Hendel's business card?
Dude, yeah. I'm his head trainer.
That's the one with Eric Dickerson on it?
Oh no, it's not that anymore.
I think he had a business card where he's drilling Eric Dickerson.
Dude, Andy is so fucking funny, man.
And I'm just like, holy shit. I don't know if you guys know who Eric Dickerson was, but he was the man when I was growing up as a kid. And I think he was a running back for the Rams or something.
Yep.
And I think he had this picture where he's just drilling them.
Dude. Oh, dude, I know the picture you're talking about. It's not on his business card, but it's hanging on the wall right next to the door. Yeah,
okay, I think it used to be on
diving, dude, just diving right into that picture is legendary, dude.
For people who don't know who Andy Hendel is, I don't know if he's still on the L1 team. He was on the L1 team forever. He is hardcore CrossFitter OG, and He played in the NFL, and his son is the wonderful and charming and beautiful and polite Spencer Hendel.
Yeah, Spencer's the man too. Such a good family. They've taken care of me since I moved to Charlotte.
And you know Spencer and Hobart and Malleolo, what they just pulled off, right?
Oh yeah, huge. How crazy. I love that. I love that for them and for CrossFit.
Yeah, it's great. It's too bad CrossFit's changing the name of the programming.
Oh yeah, ham plan is great.
Yeah, hard as a motherfucker is great. And then
I love that.
But Consensus Fit could never have that in there.
No.
So they gotta.
Andy Hendel was a games athlete once too.
Yeah, Masters 1 year. And we got another guy, Greg Cluis, at our gym, who's he's actually made it this year for the 65 plus. Old Greg Cluis.
Inaugural year?
Yeah.
Greg Cluis. Yeah. Don't die on the floor.
I'm gonna tell him you said that, bro. Oh, we talked so much shit to him. That's so funny.
Andy may have been in the 2007 or 2008 or 2009 games too. No?
No. This is Spencer. I think I don't know what Spencer's first year was, but Andy's year at the games was 2015.
Okay, he could have easily competed back then, though. I bet.
Oh, for sure.
If he wanted to. Yeah,
dude, he's ripped. He's still ripped, dude.
Yeah, he's a savage.
He's freaking yoked. Yeah.
I think and if you look at the old videos, there's some cool videos of him even working out side by side with Pat Barber and people like that.
He did 100 overhead squats at 95 unbroken.
That's right. I think he was the first person to do that. That's right.
We have the trophy at the gym. But isn't that still nuts? And to this day, dude, he will kick everyone in the gym's ass if it's overhead squats.
Which is crazy at 60, right? His shoulder should just be a pile of goo.
Yeah, he's a beast.
So, but we didn't really get to this. So we know you're pissed. We know you're blaming yourself, and you know you shit the bed at the semifinal, and you know, and you learned the lesson. But we know. But tell me about this. This on last chance qualifier another fucking head fuck? No. Like, don't you just want to know?
I'm excited. I'm excited for it. I don't know. I think I was feeling too much pressure at Granite Games, and I definitely didn't have fun, which is my own fault. But I'm in a much better headspace now. I mean, what happened? I'm as fit as I've ever been, fitter than I've ever been. I just go and do my best on every workout, and where the chips fall, they fall. And I'll know after that I'm either fit enough to be a CrossFit Games athlete, or I have these areas where I need to get better in order to be a CrossFit Games athlete, and that's it.
How important is it when you do the deadlift relative to the other workouts?
I don't know that it's that important. I mean, you don't have a choice. You have to do it between Friday and Saturday because of the passwords, which I like that as well.
What exactly are you asking, Brian? Like, you can choose the order of the 4 workouts?
You can choose the order of 1 and 2, and then you can choose the order of whether you do 3 first or 4 first.
Basically,
wow, I can't even understand that. I can't even understand that. It's over my head.
I was hoping that he would say that. I don't think everyone quite understands that was even happening in the semifinals, because in the quarterfinals, all 3 of these stages of competition, it's the first year that we've had them. So we're like, as we receive the information, that's what we assume the process is. And so for quarterfinals, they gave you 5 workouts, but they didn't give you, they said they were due at a certain time, but you could actually do them in any order you wanted. You just had to make sure to have done and submitted the first 2 on the first day, the second 2 on the second day, and the last one on the last day. But you could have done them all on Thursday if you wanted to.
And a lot of guys did redos, a couple redos. And hey, quick question. Do you have my Instagram handle on this live? I'm just trying to make it bigger like you.
Oh, yeah. It's at Taylor, Taylor, the Instagram whore. You have the same suffix that I have.
Dude, that's my OnlyFans. That's not my Instagram, bro.
Oh, sorry. It's Taylor, Taylor, MI mid self SELF. I guarantee you, I figure you don't care how many followers you have, but Jason just fucking text you and be like, dude, get some followers, get some followers.
Well, I would. See, I would have if you didn't get shadow banned. Now we're not going to get the recognition, bro, because no one even knows I'm on here.
True.
Why'd you have to go do that?
That's a good question. I don't have the answer for that.
That sucks, dude. I'm sorry.
So Sevan,
no, it really is okay. It really is okay. It really doesn't upset me as long as I still get to play a little bit. And now I have this podcast, so I'm just kind of like parlaying all of my energy into this and trying to keep up with Brian. Okay, Brian, go. Sorry. So yeah, let's talk about the order of these events because I don't understand shit. Did you know that what he said? Sorry, Brian. Did you know that you could do them in any order? The quarterfinals, what Brian just shared with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't.
All the athletes knew that, and most of them did the front squat at the beginning of the weekend, even though it wasn't due till the second day.
I did that, but I didn't redo any of the workouts.
And they changed the rules for the semifinals. In the semifinals, there were also 3 24-hour windows. This time there were 2 workouts, and 2 workouts, 6 instead of 5. But you could not do them in any order you wanted. You had to do the first 2, and there was some password. Taylor may be able to give us more insight into it. I don't know.
Yeah,
he's going to experience it now. But you had to say the password, and it was the other passwords were locked until you'd submitted the first workout's password, I guess.
So basically the password, this is how it was for semifinals. The windows for semifinals were Thursday at 3 to Friday at 3, then Friday at 3 to Saturday at 3, and Saturday at 3 to Sunday at 3. They'll email us a password at that 3 p.m. opening of the window for only 2 workouts. So you can do those 2 workouts in that 24-hour period because you have the password. And then you'll get the next password when that window closes on the next day, and then et cetera. So, and that's how
did you know that if you were at the Granite Games? Someone told you?
Well, yeah. So someone who competed in the Alice Games told me, and that's also the email we just got for Last Chance. Is it's going to be the same way, but we are, instead of 3 days, it's Friday to Saturday and then Saturday to Sunday. Less workouts.
Okay, so Friday at 3. So Brian, what workouts do you have to do Friday between 3:00 p.m. and 3:00 p.m. Saturday? 1 and 2? And it doesn't matter the order you do them?
Yeah. So he's got the 3 rep max deadlift, and then he has the rowing hang dumbbell snatch. I think it's 42, 30, 18 rep scheme.
Look at someone's texting him right now.
Well, sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's dude, someone who's watching.
Just don't pick up a FaceTime. If Jason fucking FaceTimes you, bro, and you pick that up, I'm out.
You can put the Coke can back if I do that. Okay, so that makes sense. Now I kind of understand it. So you can do 1 and 2 in any order you want, and you can do 3 and 4 in any order.
Yeah. Yep.
So then I guess Brian's question is, on the second day, will you do the burpee workout first or on day 1?
Row dumbbell or deadlift first.
Yes.
Yep.
And Brian was asking which one will you do first, right, Brian?
No, he didn't ask me that. He asked me if the deadlift would affect the rest of the workouts. Because I'm not going to
Same thing, except I asked it more clearly. Same thing, but I asked it more clearly, more succinctly, more directly.
I don't know. Everybody's different. I don't think it makes I'm not sure that it makes a huge difference whether I do the dumbbell row workout before the deadlift or the deadlift before. I did the dumbbell row today, so I know a little bit about it.
And how was it?
It was a good workout. I like it.
And will you beat your time when you do it? Is it this Friday?
Yeah, Friday. For sure I'll beat the time. I didn't go slow. I don't ever like test a workout and go slow, I don't think. And I don't test it with the attitude that I'm just going to go at a learning pace. I mean, I feel like to learn about a workout, you have to fucking hit it. So that's what I did. But yeah, I'll definitely go faster Friday for sure. Learned a little bit.
And you don't know other people's times or weight, so you don't even know what to deadlift. You have to actually I
just have to do my best.
Do your max.
Yeah,
it's not just.
There's no game. I think that's where I screwed myself over at Grant. I mean, dude, I'm just such a new to competing. That's why I love working out with Jason, because I kind of sharpen that when I work out with him. But at Granite Games, dude, I got caught up on that thruster workout. Dude, this guy next to me, who's I don't remember him, but fuck. He went out so hot. I was just like, fuck, if this guy can go this fast, I'm about to beat his ass. And then after the round of 12, I was like, oh. So you don't get that with the Last Chance. It's just kind of, you just gotta go as hard as you can.
Did you beat that dude who went out too fast also?
Yeah, but he got crushed with no reps, and I don't know that he earned them.
Okay.
After seeing the last 2 weeks of the virtual semifinals and all the penalties, how do you balance making sure you're meeting the movement quality with something like that hang dumbbell snatch when you know it's basically a full send workout?
I love this question. So yeah, movement standards are binary. I mean, Sevan, I work with Andy, so this is my opinion is just going to be exactly how he feels about it. You either meet the standard or you don't, and the points of performance within that are what you kind of own. So like do I look like a pooping dog when I squat? It doesn't really matter if my hip crease goes below the knee and I reach extension at the top. So I think anytime I've gotten a penalty, I've only gotten one penalty. Well, I've only ever been good enough probably to have my video reviewed one fucking year, which is this year. But I got a penalty on the quarterfinals dumbbell hang clean workout because on the first rep to stand it all the way up, my shoulder was definitely still over my hip. I didn't fully extend the deadlift and then go into the hang. I kind of stood up into the hang position and then initiated it. So I got 9-second total penalty for those 3 initial reps. And I agree with that. I was like, yeah, I kind of wish. Yeah, I should have stood them all the way up. I just was trying to go as fast as I could and fuck that. But I feel like I move pretty well. I don't really ever get concerned with movement standards or penalties. I think if I'm going to get a penalty, it's because I deserve it. But I don't know. I don't think about that. I move well.
Brian hangs out and comes from a lineage and cohort of.
I have no idea what he's about to say.
Is he about to talk shit about something OPEX?
No. Well, no, actually not OPEX. I have no issues with OPEX. He comes from a lineage of journalists, and his cohort of journalists are professional complainers when it comes to judges, movement standards, and
okay, I will say some of the judging. I will say this: the judging at some of the semis was not as consistent as it could be. Like if you look at like NFL reffing,
now you're talking Brian's talk. Now you're talking Brian's talk.
Well, you can't control it as an athlete, but it's just a fact. It was not super consistent. That's the truth. The truth is it wasn't extremely consistent. They're volunteers and they're doing their best out there. So like, I'm not going to shit on some lady who's giving up her free time to give me the opportunity.
It's not always just on the judge. It's
That's
on
true.
the competition.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well,
it's on the competition and the head judge to clearly communicate the standards to both the judges and the athletes and make sure that there's no gray area.
Absolutely.
But it's like I said, it starts with the competition director, how they communicate to the head judge, and it filters down from there.
Oh yeah.
And there is always also a responsibility on the athlete, to ask questions if they have them. And usually you have the opportunity to clear any movement limitations you have prior to competition, or at least have that conversation. So if you're the athlete, you got to take advantage of all those things and then have the mentality that Taylor does. I'm going to move well, and if I get a penalty, it's because I deserve a penalty.
Yeah, there was one. So at Granite Games, there were 2 things in the briefing that I noted. On the D-ball clean workout, they allowed you to clean it to the shoulder and drop in front of you or go over the shoulder. I thought that was I didn't like that just because I thought they should make everyone do the exact same thing. Granted, I went to the shoulder. I think it's faster, and I beat a lot of people at the end of the workout because of that, because they were going over the shoulder. But that's kind of their own fault. And then from the other one was I just thought that was kind of some gray area they didn't need to be there. You didn't need that gray area. You could just make it one or the other, and then there's no gray area. And then on the devil's press standard, they were saying like you couldn't. I get what they were trying to do. They were trying to keep people from going so wide with the feet on the way up to like purposefully shorten the range of motion. But like you can't really purposefully shorten the range of motion with 70-pound dumbbells on devil's press, bro. If you're strong enough to do that, then
that ruling is almost contrary to the rule with the D balls. Like in the D balls, they're giving you a choice to go do however you want, basically.
Yeah.
And then in the devil's press, they're saying, you can't quite do it however you want.
Yeah. So, but it was like your feet couldn't be outside the shoulders. And it was like, if your feet can't be outside the shoulders, then at the bottom position, your chest can't go in between the dumbbells. It was just really weird. They ended up fixing it over the Slack group text, but during the briefing, it was a little sketchy. But
why would anyone throw the ball over their shoulder? Can you anyone explain to me why you would do that if you have the option to put it back down in front of you?
I think I can. I think a lot of guys thought it would help them pace. I think they thought that they would pace the D ball and go faster on the wall ball and GHD. And I had the opposite. I kind of paced the wall ball and went faster on the D ball.
I'll give you another thought on that. If you go over the shoulder, I guess you could get a no rep if you go to the side of the shoulder. If you go over the shoulder, it's a more easy standard to judge. Yeah. If you go to the shoulder, you think you're on your shoulder and they think you're not, and you go back down, I feel like it could be easier to get a no rep on that.
And that goes back to movement quality too, as if you're hitting the standard or not.
I'd be curious if any of the guys who finished top 5 in the Granite Games went over the shoulder.
So Chandler didn't,
because it doesn't seem like a championship move.
Chandler didn't go over the shoulder. Tim Paulson did not go over the shoulder. I don't think Colton Mertens went over the shoulder. I don't know about Roy. I know that Saxon did go over the shoulder. I saw him during the workout going over the shoulder. So I know Mertens, Paulson, and Chandler didn't. Don't know about.
I would love to hear if Saxon regrets that. I wonder if he were to
got first
redo
place
it,
overall in the competition.
Yeah, he fucking killed it. So I don't think he really.
Well, fuck me.
Yeah.
He didn't win any workouts, but he just super consistent performances.
Yeah.
Are you going to be going to the CrossFit Games? Like when you look at these workouts, are you like, oh shit, I got a good chance?
I like the workouts a lot. Yeah.
What do you think about your cohort? The guys you're going against?
I know a few. I don't have the list on me. I mean, I know some of them for sure, just from leaderboarding. I like to know who I'm competing against, but there are a lot of guys I don't know much about. A lot of the like Asia, South America, and some of the Europe guys they're newer, but so am I. They're probably not looking at me like, oh, that guy's a threat. So
I think.
What do you think, Brian?
I think there are 10 to 12 guys that could qualify.
It's deep for sure. Yeah, there are a lot of good athletes.
Are we talking to one of them?
Yeah. I mean, it's all these guys have already beaten a good field of semifinal athletes to place, wherever they placed within 3 spots of the qualifier, in some cases 4. Some of those, I mean, just like the 3 guys from the West Coast Classic, all 3 of those guys could easily have been to the games, just like Taylor could have, and several other guys. They just made one mistake on the weekend, or maybe just missed by a point or 2. But
do you have your picks, Brian, of who's going to go from the Last Chance Qualifier?
I think it's one of the most difficult competitions to pick that I've seen in a while, and the main reason for that is I think there are 2 workouts that are tough for me to evaluate. The deadlift is just a large unknown for me.
Yeah.
And that burpee standard changes things a little bit. Where
I love it.
I think that there's a new element to being able to jump a foot 100 times and while going fast that might catch up to some people, like around 70 to 80 burpees in.
You do like it?
I love the standard. I don't know. I'm a big, again, I reiterate, I'm a big fan of CrossFit. I like the wall walk workout. I like things like that. So
for that burpee, you guys have to do it like next to a wall, right?
Yeah, it's awesome. I did it.
And you have to jump and touch the wall on the side.
So yeah, the target is to one side. It's a tape line on the wall. For the first 50 reps, you'll face away from the camera, touch it with your right hand. For the last 50, you'll turn and face the camera, hit it with your left hand.
Wow. And so you can't be facing the wall. You have to be.
Oh yeah.
You have to be adjacent to the wall.
Yeah.
Side by side. Is that the way you would have done it if they didn't have rules, or would you have been facing the wall? Would you have done it right by the side like that?
I would have done it to a pull-up bar if they didn't have rules.
Oh.
Hard to find the pull-up bar that's exactly 12 inches above, everyone's reach.
Yeah, he's right about that. You could always do rings. Rings move, but
that's how they've done it in the past too, right? With rings, and then they blow around or they move, and people get screwed.
Yeah.
They have, but at the CrossFit Games that one year, they've just put a giant red tape across the entire ring.
Do the same height. I love that.
Right.
Wow.
I mean, if everyone's got to jump over the same height bar or the same height box or lift the same weight, why not make the burpee height the same, for everyone?
So like someone like Tim Paulson's like just touching like right where his eye is.
Exactly what happened, yeah. Fikowski wasn't jumping. Fikowski wasn't jumping. So this is in the video. Like I think Matt and Fikowski were next to one another. Fikowski was not jumping and touching the strap, and Matt was jumping like a foot,
Dude, that's awesome.
And I'm pretty sure he still beat Brent.
That was in the Chaos event,
2018.
Oh yeah. I didn't watch any of those games.
Yeah, that was a tough year.
I was in Madison
year for
sitting
you
on a
guys, man.
Yeah, that was a tough year for me. I went to the CrossFit Games to film the behind the scenes. I had my entire team there, all my cameras, all my prep work,
Dude,
and I ended up sitting on a couch.
We were supposed to do that podcast that year too.
Dude, by the way, I love every behind the scenes. I've watched them all. They're hilarious.
Thank you. Everybody does. Thank you.
That West Coast guy, what's his name?
I don't know if my mom likes him. Oh, I know who you're talking about. Ronnie Teasdale.
Oh my God, dude.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, bro. So funny.
Yeah, it's so good. And what's funny is before I was the head of media there, I wanted to do a piece on him, but the director of media, the executive director of the media team wouldn't let us do a piece on him because he didn't want to give him any attention. I'm like, fuck, I don't care if he wants attention or not. I want to do a piece on him. He looks so interesting.
Yeah.
And so I think that was one of the first years I was the boss, and I'm like, I'm doing it. And it was cool. And I tried to do him and Ryan Fisher, but I only got Ronnie. Ryan wasn't game. But I interviewed Ryan recently on my podcast, and that was cool.
Oh, he was on your podcast, Ryan Fisher.
Yeah. And that was great. He was amazing. What a savage.
You would like that one, Taylor. You would like that one.
Ryan Fisher. Am I thinking of the right guy?
Out of LA. He sells a bunch of books.
Chalk Performance Programming.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yes.
Check it
out. Okay, I'm done. How long have we been on the air? 50 minutes.
Wow, dude, cutting me short. That's fucked up.
Go, Brian. Go. I got a lot more. Go though, Brian, if you want to.
I was getting ready for you to ask me who's actually gonna make it.
Oh yeah,
yes,
I've been waiting to hear that.
Are you sure you've been waiting to hear it?
Dude, he was wrong about me at Granite Games, so why the fuck do I say if I'm not gonna make it this time, dude?
I was wrong, but I don't regret that pick. I feel like you had the capacity to finish where I had picked you. This I think is honestly, I think it's very, very hard. I'm just gonna stick with the guys that I've been.
How many people are competing, Brian?
33.
Up to I think up to 32, right? Over 30 guys. It's possible that they won't all register. They have to pay another $50, and if they don't think they have a chance or they don't like the workouts, the leaderboard's not full yet.
Oh, it's there. There's a leaderboard now. I was looking and I couldn't find one.
Because it's kind of
that's
hidden.
Another thing. That's another thing. I wonder if we agree on this too, Taylor. That's another thing. I'm so sick and tired of people whining about the money.
Oh yeah, like shut up. It's $50. Shut the fuck up. You don't have $50.
So there
you think CrossFit's getting rich off that?
There's only 16 on the leaderboard. Is this on the app?
I don't know. If you go to the 2021 semifinals, there was a new under semifinal.
Last chance qualifier. Okay, that's cool.
That was just recently.
I don't see it. I see
there. Con Porta, he's there.
I don't see that. Where do you see it? I'm at the leaderboard. Oh, semifinal. Oh, last chance qualifier. Okay, got it.
Nice. All right. Yeah, this is a pretty good field. I mean, these are the guys. A lot of these guys are.
So I think that there's.
Oh shit! Taylor's not even on there yet.
Oh,
You're not even on here.
I'm third, dude. Look, I'm in third place.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So, I don't know if I should pick from these 16 guys or from everyone that can qualify, but the two guys I was going to pick are on here anyway, and they're Alexander Caron and James Newberry.
I knew you were going to pick James Newberry.
Interesting.
Why?
Just because I think. Because you have something for him. Like you mention him more. I've heard you mention him more in this last year than I've heard like his name mentioned in the previous 10 years.
James I have something for him too. He's a dude. He mountain bikes. That's pretty cool. I love. And I
suspect he's a very nice guy. I've interviewed him very little, but I think he's super nice.
He's vegan. Are you sure you're okay with that?
He is vegan?
Oh yeah. And a savage at it, yeah.
Wow. Like he eats plants raw, right? Like he just eats them raw. When you say a savage, like just rips a fucking radish out of the ground.
He's yoked. He's yoked and he's a vegan, dude. I just bought a cow with Andy. I'm not vegan.
That's kind of crazy.
That's awesome.
I can't imagine trying to eat enough food being vegan.
You know, Dave does that too. Dave eats.
Really?
Dave buys cows. Yeah, buys baby calves and lets them graze on his property.
Okay, we didn't do that. We just bought like a cow's worth of beef from this farm.
Oh, not as cool.
No, not. I wish, dude. I had a yard big enough for a cow, you bet your ass I'm gonna have one.
Brian, let's push you a little further. Who's third place?
So you said Newberry and who was the
Caron.
other? Caron. How's
Yeah.
Caron? Okay.
Caron, he's the guy that I would pick first overall. But like I said, there's like 10 guys I think could make it. I want to pick from guys who have actually registered so far, I suppose.
What about Dallin Pepper?
Dallin Pepper, I don't think it's a great slate of workouts for him. I think he's good enough to be at the games, but I don't think he's good enough to beat this group of guys in these set of workouts.
Okay.
So, not him. But some of the guys I was going to pick aren't registered here. So, who?
Yeah, I want to know this other guy, man.
Oh, like I don't see Spencer Panchik on the list. I don't see Cedric Lapointe on the list.
Right.
I'm not sure that has Tyler.
Oh shit! So he doesn't think you're going, Taylor. He doesn't think you're going.
No, I'm just saying, like,
dude, he did say I was one of the 10 guys, which is cool. Thanks.
Well, no, I'm just trying. Like, I have a list of people here, but they're not all signed up, so I don't know if I should pick from the list or pick from the sign.
Did you end up going to the Navy?
No, I did not. They wouldn't have me, man.
And why is that?
I did too many drugs growing up.
And that's how they were like, hey, have you ever done this? Have you ever done this? Have you ever done this? And you're like, yeah. They're like, dude.
Well, dude, my recruiter told me to lie.
We're not giving you a gun.
Yeah, dude, the recruiter I had was like, dude, you shouldn't tell us about this. But so I wanted to go and be a SEAL, and I made it. So I got all my medical waivers approved for like regular Navy, while being honest. And I've been to like rehab, so there was a lot of. It was a big ask for sure. But then after you get approved by the regular Navy, all the medical waivers, then I was ready to take like the PST for the slot at Buds to get a SEAL contract as a civilian. And I took the PST and automatically qualified with the score that I had on the PST that first time. And then I went to take the C sort like a week later, which is the Resiliency Exam. The online, there's like nothing. There's like no info on it. It's like a secret test and whatever. I think it basically decides, are you like a team player? Or are you super selfish? It's kind of the test. And then that day, the SO commander, I'd actually talked to this guy like over the summer. I have a lot of family friends who are SEALs, and they had put me in touch with this guy, and I didn't realize he was the commander of special warfare recruiting in the Richmond area or the East Coast, whatever. In the summer, he was like, yeah, man, with your record, you really don't have a chance. And I just thought, man, fuck that guy. He doesn't know me. And then it turns out he's the commander. So he was like, oh, this is the guy with that particular history. Yeah, we're not going to take him.
I think it's better you didn't lie. I think it would have been dumb if you lied.
Oh, 100%.
It's so much better you didn't lie.
I'm not proud of the things that I've done, but I've overcome a lot. I think at the same time, they would 100% find out at some point. I mean, if they put me on a poly or whatever, like, fuck, I don't want to. Then you get a dishonorable discharge.
What year were you in rehab?
What year? Like, what was my graduating class?
Like how many years? So how old were you? You're 25 now. How old were you when you were in rehab?
I was pretty young. I was 16.
And did you relapse?
Nope.
So you went through rehab and that was it?
Yeah, it was that easy, man. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. I mean, I had been through a lot, but yeah. So I've been sober 9 years.
Oh God, I really hope you come to the game so we can have you back on the show and like people give a fuck about you. Sounds like a great story.
I will 100% make it to the games. Don't you worry about that.
Because it's so interesting. I don't think anyone goes, like no one normal goes to the games. I was just talking to Danielle Brandon about this. I mean, I've talked about it with so many athletes, but like, I don't think you go to the games.
What is normal? What do you mean by that though?
Like you have to have like, dude, something has to have happened to you. Like I'll give the example I did with Daniel Brandon. I don't think it's a great example, but basically think of your life as a well and you live at the top of the well and you look around at reality. But in the bottom of that well, if something happened to you that's really, really emotionally traumatic, you every once in a while have to go down to the bottom of the well and nurture that thing. And, you know, sometimes some people use drugs so they don't have to go down there and nurture it. And another way to do that is to nurture it, or nurture is not the right word, but to stay connected to it, to be aware of it. I'll work this thought out. 10 podcasts later from now. But basically, doing CrossFit is a way you stay tethered. The pain and discomfort you feel from CrossFit keeps you tethered to that emotional charge down there. And without that, you would have to do drugs or some other shit, or like there's some sort of
I don't know.
Childhood discomfort. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I get where you're going with that. I think for me, I mean, you don't just get sober and then everything's good. You know what I mean? Like we're the reason, obviously, that like I was the reason I got fucked up like that. So it was my own issues, but also I'm not going to live a happy life if I don't resolve them somehow. I think that learning, I think maybe that's a good way to put it. A lot of normal people, quote unquote, I don't really know what you know, I don't want to imply that anyone listening to the podcast, you're all not normal. You guys are great. But a lot of people like comfort, and it's uncomfortable to do CrossFit a lot. I have learned that I definitely feel the best about myself and grow the most and improve the most when I'm the most uncomfortable, when I'm challenged the most, when I go through the worst stuff. So I think I'm not scared of that. And CrossFit definitely feeds that. It's like, I mean, it's a direct representation of life. The harder you stress yourself in CrossFit, the better you get. And the more uncomfortable and more you face challenges in life, the more character you have, the better of a person you are, the more experience you have.
When I saw that workout, 100 burpees today, and this thought just popped in my mind, I was like, holy shit, there's people who don't know themselves. There's people in the world, a lot of them, who've never done 100 burpees as fast as they can. And so what does that mean? That means they don't know themselves after doing 100 burpees as fast as they can.
Or in the middle. Or in the middle, you don't know yourself. I mean,
right.
It's me. It's
right.
Like, it's not at the end of the workout. You're like, damn, I shouldn't have been a pussy. But it's in the middle of the workout where you're like, I can't do this. Or at least, you know.
And what a waste to go through life and never push yourself like that. But I think people like you I think it comes more naturally for people like you who've gone through more shit to want to re-experience that.
I think it comes
to be able to take that journey.
I think it comes naturally for some people. I don't know that it necessarily came naturally for me. I was just such a quitter growing up. I feel like I learned more than anything, like toughness or stuff like that, from reading. Definitely getting sober, but from reading. I read a lot. Shout out to David Goggins. I'm a big fan of that guy.
Wow. So you think reading you reprogrammed yourself?
You can learn. Like you learn from people, right? So the people you surround yourself, you learn from, and like it's a pretty good way to be mentored by some of the world's greatest people is by reading about them.
Do you think there were any events in the semifinals where you could have gone harder and you avoided discomfort?
No, I think there were several events where I had in the back of my mind not to blow up, and so I went out too conservatively and then finished the workout the way I should have started.
Okay. Yeah, see, like I can't even get my head wrapped around that. You have to understand, like every day I work out, there's like like what you do every day, pushing yourself as hard as you can. There's always somewhere where I'm working out where I'm like, okay, that's enough. Like I
learned that lesson.
This hurts too bad.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Taylor, when you did that that competition at Crucible, like
I learned that pain lesson there. I pulled up on a skier workout towards the end. It was like a 2-2-3 interval style workout. 100 toes to bar for time with a 25 calorie ski buy-in each round. And I think I was 3 or 4 reps away from finishing the 100 calories in the third interval, or the 100 toe to bar in the third interval. So was Josh Miller. So was Jason. I think Josh was 6 or 4 away, and Jason was fucking behind me, dude. So this is why he won that event. I hope he's listening. He could see my screen, dude, and I was facing away from him. Anyways, so I like pulled up on the last couple cals and like double clutched the things, you know, thinking the calorie would roll over, and pulling up really. I pulled up instead of going all the way through hard, and like lost to Jason on that workout by like 1 second or 2 seconds. So I learned that lesson too. That's where I learned that lesson.
Had you known him before that?
No, we did a competition. I actually beat Jason in a competition in Myrtle Beach before Crucible, the old beach town throwdown. He took 8th.
I think you can even make a longer pause, by the way, when you say that. You took a little pause. You can beat Jason there, and you took a little pause. I think you can get 2 more beats out of
that. Dude, you should ask him about that Myrtle Beach competition. Ask him what happened there. I'm curious, but
was there a swim event? What?
Dude, no, there wasn't.
Beach.
There wasn't.
Oh.
That's funny though. There was not a swim event. No, I think he got a penalty or some shit on a workout or something.
Those local competitions.
Brian's curious Brian's curious if he's a good swimmer, and Brian's curious about his handstand push-ups.
I'm the best swimmer.
His negative.
When I make, I'm a good swimmer. I am a very good swimmer. I love to swim. I don't know about Jason. He's pretty good at handstand push-ups.
I kind of hope you make the games so that we can see that. I want to see some more good swimmers at the games.
Oh my! I'll be one of the only. I don't even want to say this on the podcast because I don't want to give people the idea to start trying it. But I'm a very good swimmer. I would crush a swim event. Open water, pool, with mixed modalities, CrossFit involved. I'm a good swimmer.
Why are you a good swimmer? Did you swim growing up?
I was always around the water. My sister was a collegiate diver for Clemson, like really good, super.
But he said he was swimming before the Navy. That before adding CrossFit in, he was doing running and swimming a lot.
Yeah, I was running like 40 miles a week and swimming like 3 or 4 miles a week for like a year. So that's where I got good at swimming.
Did you work out, Haley? Yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm looking at my wife walk around the house. She looks all buff, like she just got all swole, but that's just her normal look. Do you feel going back to making it, not making it to the semifinals? Did any of your training partners make it?
What do you mean? Make it to the games?
To the CrossFit Games, yeah.
I don't have a trainer. It's Jason. Is the only person I ever trained with.
And so when you saw him win the week before, what did that do for you?
I was already I don't know. On the one hand, it was like, well, pressure's on a little bit. But on the other hand, I know for the most part, I felt like I know my fitness and I know his fitness. And so it definitely gave me confidence. I think I was just too worried. I think I don't know. It's just a really new, I've never been under pressure like that. That's not an excuse, but I handled it like a rookie. You know?
Did you have a designated coach or person there with you that weekend?
Yeah, I did. I think one of the other things is I got there a little early. I got there Tuesday and then spent like Tuesday and Wednesday without anyone else had gotten there. So it was just me, and Minneapolis is not my favorite. I mean, dude, I'm a country boy.
Oh, we should have gone and played some disc golf.
Dude, we could have, but damn.
Well, you could have attended some local riots or something. What?
Holy shit. That's funny. I was running one of the days, dude. I was running down the street that my Airbnb, first off, my Airbnb was a shithole. Anyways, I was running down one of the streets, dude. And
like pubic hairs in your sheets, shithole?
No, but like, so this is going to be, now that you say that, this is going to be more embarrassing. But the AC was window units, dude. And it was it was pretty hot. Too hot for window units.
Dude, you're from Virginia. Don't be talking shit about window unit AC. Jesus Christ. Anyway, dude, your first picture, you ride horses bareback, for fuck's sake.
I will say
he sees my $3,000 glasses and he's trying to front on me.
Are those $3,000, dude?
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have paid that for it, but
I do think Taylor has a good point though. I often am at those competitions for like 48 hours before they start, and I see the athletes and they just look so confused. These are people that wake up every day and they're gonna move and they're gonna do something, and then they got like 36 to 48 hours of nothing.
Doing jack
shit. It just looks like they have no idea what to do with themselves.
I just was I don't know. I didn't handle the pressure as well as I would have liked to, right? I would like to handle the pressure like a professional and like a veteran. But I think in that second workout, I didn't. The rest of the weekend, I was pretty proud of fighting the negativity and doing, battling back a little bit. Not as well as I would have liked, but yeah, I just didn't handle that as well as I will next time. That's for sure.
So you were going for a run. What did you see?
Dude,
you just swung by a supermarket with the broken window and grabbed something?
Dude, there's still fucking plywood covering all the buildings down that street, man. Isn't that crazy?
I heard there's a 5 mile. I haven't been there, but I heard there's a 5 mile stretch that's just decimated.
It is.
It's just like uninhabitable.
That was the street I had the Airbnb on. I didn't know this, so we got the Airbnb. Shout out to my sister for getting us that. I think she might be listening. But anyway, so that whole street was like one of the main streets they marched down. Crazy.
You look. I'm looking at this picture from August 9th, 2020. Yeah, you do look hot with the 2 dogs.
Oh yeah.
How much do you weigh in that picture?
August 9th, 2020. 2 dogs.
You only have 12 pictures on your IG, dude. It's the one with the dogs.
Okay.
You with your shirt off.
Oh yeah. You like that one?
Yeah.
How much of that? Probably the same as I weigh now. 195, maybe 192. I'm probably closer to 200 right now.
And then is this your mom? The picture where you're dressed up as Canelo Alvarez for Halloween with your arm around that lady? Is that your mom? Don't you look like Canelo there? Do you see that shit?
Every one of my, so I have a CrossFit Latinos class at CrossFit Charlotte. We do, it's like 30 of just Hispanic people in the 7 p.m. class. So I coach a class and some
racist, not letting whitey in.
A little bit. We don't, dude. Get out of here. Anyways, it's like I try to coach the class in Spanish, so I'm learning Spanish and I coach it mostly in
That's awesome.
Broken Spanish. But dude, they call me Canelo all the time. It's funny. So not the first time.
Oh, dude.
He's a way better looking guy and he would beat the shit out of me. So, but I do have a red beard.
Hey, that's okay. People used to say that I look like Fonzie from Happy Days, and he was way better looking, and he'd probably beat the shit out of me at a leather jacket and shit.
Andy says you look like what did he say today? So I told him I was doing the podcast with you, and he's like, oh, yeah, the little professor guy. So the guy with the glasses, the little professor guy. Dude, look at that. So funny. Oh, my gosh.
I am. Oh shit! Look at I got the hat part. I'm putting the hat back on before someone makes fun of me. And then you got a picture of your dad in here, and is that your dad in the picture holding you as a little kid?
Yeah. Yep. He passed away when I was 15.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
He had cancer. Yeah. I went through like a stretch. There were like that year. It was like a 2 or 3 year stretch where my dad's dad, so my grandpa, who I really grew up with a lot and spent a lot of time with, he passed away. Then my dad passed away, and then his mom, so my grandma, passed away. It's pretty crazy.
And what kind of cancer did your dad pass away from?
Lung cancer, small cell, like stage 4, savage. Yeah.
He smoked cigarettes.
Oh yeah. Didn't stop.
And your grandfather smoked cigarettes
for a long time. Yep. And so did my grandmother.
I was gonna say she died from secondhand smoke. Wow. Okay. So you know how to stop it. Did you ever?
Dude, I smoked a lot. Yeah, I actually used to.
What did you smoke?
Well, I stole his Marlboro Lights for the longest time.
And he didn't know?
Dude, he smoked so much. I could just go into I could just pull a pack of cigarettes out of his carton. He would never fucking know, bro.
Oh, by the carton he bought it. That's hardcore.
He was yeah, dude, no joke. So.
And did you smoke up until you started doing CrossFit?
No, I had stopped by then, but I was dipping when I started CrossFit, chewing tobacco.
Yeah, I think a lot of people.
I did CrossFit probably for like 2 years until I really quit that.
And that doesn't interfere as much as smoking, right?
I told myself the lie for the longest time that, it's not messing with your gums, but nicotine's like a vasoconstrictor, and there's some studies where it's a stimulant, so could it benefit you in some areas, but also a vasoconstrictor, so it could have negative effects in others. At the end of the day, it's it doesn't. I don't think it matters that much for. Maybe it does. I just don't want to die of cancer, so I stopped it.
Right, for sure. And why did you quit why did you quit smoking? Because you were scared?
No, I just
what?
So I went to rehab. I smoked until I went to rehab, and then I went to rehab, and I couldn't have nicotine there because I was 16. And then, then I got out and I was sober, and then I just kind of picked up dipping. It was easier to hide. Good.
Wow. Which is harder to quit, dipping or smoking cigarettes?
For sure. Yeah, quitting dip was so fucking hard. And you can't you can't beat around the bush either with Nicorette gum or then there's like the little nicotine pouches that are just like nicotine and salt. No, you have to go cold turkey because nothing comes. It's not like you can vape. Like vaping is closer to a cigarette than any sort of substitute is to dip.
Don't ever try vaping. Have you ever tried vaping?
Yeah,
I vaped a few times off a Juul. Holy shit, that is gnarly. That shit is addicting. That I imagine that's like freebasing crack. I mean, the first time you take a hit, you're
it's not like freebasing crap at all, dude.
No. I mean, I was just in heaven. I couldn't believe it. It is fucking gnarly. The
dude, when I had like quit dip for a while at one point and like put one in, I was like driving, I had to pull over.
Because you couldn't even see?
Dude, it was just
your eyes got all weird?
Yeah, huge buzz. But this is, dude, why are we talking about this? Next.
Makes you relatable.
I'm pretty normal.
Well, the thing is you're not gonna get. I mean, look at all that shit's out of your life now, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. I'm an open book. I'm not worried about sharing any of that. Yeah.
But you just said let's not talk about it.
Well, I was just like, I feel gross talking about how much of a sicko I used to be.
Well, man, it's the journey, and it makes it hopeful. It makes it hopeful for everyone else, right? I mean, there's someone out there right now who's like addicted to cigarettes, but they want to do CrossFit. I mean, I only quit smoking CrossFit. I only quit smoking cigarettes at 34 because I found CrossFit. I'm 49 now.
That's awesome.
So like 34, I was smoking cloves, and then I found CrossFit. I'm like, hey, these two can't go. And I really like smoking. I didn't want to quit, but I like CrossFit even more. So I'm like, shit, this thing's got to go.
I actually think that rehab and CrossFit both have this in common, is that if like a lot of people go to rehab to quit one thing and end up quitting several other things also. And then when you start doing CrossFit, I feel like it's a different time frame for a lot of people, but if you stick with it long enough, that similarly other things will start to either disappear or add to your life because of that lifestyle. Yeah,
CrossFit, both sobriety and CrossFit changed my life in a huge way. Dude, I'm a big dude. Like I said earlier, I really love the stuff you post on your Instagram. It pisses me off that they shadow banned you. What a shit show, dude. Can you believe that they can do that in our country?
No, I'm very
Isn't that crazy?
Because I don't even think I post anything crazy.
Well, even if you did, we have I feel like that's a public.
I'm just pro freedom, pro love, pro equality, pro everyone go do whatever you want. I'm just like,
are you?
Do whatever you dude? Yeah. You want to wear 6 masks? Wear 6 masks. You want to put a dildo in your ass? Put a dildo in your ass. Hold your beer while you do it. I don't care what you do, as long as you're not being violent. And I see it as. Sorry to go off a tangent. I see it as violent to force people to put a drug in them and inject it in them. I see that as violent. 100%. That's violent.
Dude, have you watched Rogan's?
Like, don't fuck with little kids and don't be violent. And then other than that, I really don't care what you do.
I agree.
I love all people, but just don't force other people don't do violence on other people. It's really that easy.
I agree with that. I think it's crazy. I agree with that. I just think it's crazy that Instagram or YouTube, whatever, quote unquote, is like a public platform. How they can, the censorship is just, I don't know. It's a slippery slope. Have you watched Rogan's latest podcast or one of his most recent ones with Brett Weinstein?
No.
I
watch. So one of the only podcasts I really listen to is that Dark Horse podcast. So did you see the movie No Safe Spaces with Adam Carolla?
I watched a lot of it, and I've seen so many documentaries like that it's a little muddy. But yes.
Okay. So Adam Carolla and Dennis Prager did a movie. It's called No Safe Spaces. And the main character is that guy, Brett Bernstein, or whatever his name is, the guy who was on Rogan recently. Yeah. Brett Weinstein. And, hardcore progressive liberal, teaching at the college, peace and love from the 60s. And you see him basically get run out of his college.
Oh, is this the college in Oregon, right?
Yes, Evergreen.
Yep.
And so now this guy, it's just amazing. I just love that guy's podcast because it's like, and I don't really have time. Unfortunately, I just don't do anything. If I'm in my car driving, I would listen to a podcast, but usually I'm listening to audiobooks. But then other than that, I'm just taking care of kids all day. But he's amazing. And it's great that someone who's such a hardcore progressive liberal is is taking the front stage on this issue.
Yeah.
Like, hey, it is.
Brian,
crazy.
What's your opinion on this? Am I drawing you out into something you don't want to be drawn out into?
No, I've heard this is the third time I've heard that Weinstein on Rogan interview brought up today alone. So,
dude, you got to check it out. It's crazy.
Usually that's my rule. 3 times in a day.
Yeah.
I need to look into it.
It's long. I didn't listen to the whole thing, to be honest, but I listened to enough of it to be like, wow, yep, we're fucked up.
Hey, go to that dude's podcast and listen to it. His guests are gnarly. I mean, they're amazing. Like, he had 2 guests on the other day, both vaccinated. One of them was the co-inventor of the mRNA vaccine. Yeah, one of them was the co-inventor of the mRNA vaccine, and the other one was I forget another guy. And they were like, "Hey, dude, you can't be giving this shit to kids under 12."
Yeah, so
and then they break it down. Yeah, they break it down, and it's like, go ahead.
He was on Rogan because YouTube took that off. They took it down. Yeah, so they did that's why they did the podcast, because they flagged it.
Good on Rogan.
Yeah.
Good on Rogan.
Yeah.
If you go to the games, will you beat Jason Hopper at the games?
Depends on the workouts. There are a lot of workouts.
No, but I mean, like, at the end of the day, on Sunday, when we see the leaderboard.
It depends on the workouts, dude. There are a lot of workouts that Jason would beat me in for sure, and there are workouts that I would beat him in.
He thinks very highly of you.
Dude, I love Jason. He's a great guy, and he's fit as hell, obviously.
He said that when we talked about him moving, he said something like, I said, hey, like, why don't you train with whatever? I forget who I said, like a bigger camp. And he said, like, moving isn't an option. I think he said that. Is that, and it made me think, oh shit, then this guy's not willing to do whatever it takes to win. Like, it just made me just put a little footnote on there. Okay. Would you move from where you are?
I think I'm in the best case scenario I could possibly be in to succeed. I have Andy, who's a legend. One, he's a great mentor, an even better boss. He's, teaching me the business side and developing me as a coach, which I also would like to pursue. And lets me, fuck, dude, I can work out at the gym whenever I want. And I mean, I have, he's taking me in. From there, I think I can train with people who are competitive as much or as little as I want to. I don't know that being around them 24/7, like me and Jason couldn't train more than once a week. There's no way, dude. We butt heads enough as it is, and we both acknowledge it. During the open, dude, we got into a heated shit talk and didn't talk to one another for a couple weeks.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Dude, I wish I still had that text thread. Yeah, I sent something mean right before I redid this workout. I was heated. It's funny.
Go ahead, Brian.
No, just this whole thing is an experiment right now. We don't know if these athlete camps are going to actually produce better results than the guys who are choosing to train on their own for the most part.
Well, dude, I think the ideal situation, obviously, look at Matt. Well, I don't know that it's even the ideal situation, but pretty successful for them. But at the same time, they were both pretty successful beforehand.
I mean, it's one it's one thing if you decide to get together with a couple people for the 3 weeks leading up to the games and train. But like you said, to be around the same people day in and day out, and maybe you're not even doing the same workouts all the time, but it's just, I don't know how that's going to affect athletes. And this is the first year that we'll have, these camps have just exploded in the last 6 months and grown and become, more populous. And we still have guys like Cole Sager, who trains in his garage most of the time, and Justin Medeiros, who has specifically chosen to stay in his environment, and you and Jason, guys like that up and coming that are also doing individual training for the most part, maybe throwing a competitive session here and there. So we don't know which is going to be better yet.
I'd wager there's more of that individual training going on and is successful than the big camps. Well, I mean, look at this. The comp train camp, you have Amanda Barnhart, Caron, and Chandler who qualified. And then you have the Underdog Athletics is really new. I don't know much about
Think Tank.
Yeah.
Think Tank.
Well, Think Tank is like Noah and Travis are going to qualify if they don't train with each other. Would you?
And I think the Underdog people were Underdog people were all pretty good to start with too, right?
Probably as well. I think
that's the thing is most of the athletes that are going to these camps are already well established in the space. But there are a couple that they're bringing along peripherally. Like we could talk about Underdog, for example. The women are all well established. They've been to the games, been in the top 10 of the games. But the men, Matt DeLugos, Tolo Marquinhos, Nicholas Bedarte, not as many know about them because they haven't broken through yet. But they're a part of that coalition there.
Yeah, so it's interesting to see how that helps them. At the same time, I like look at that and I think, damn, like I don't know that I'd be all right with my coach having another individual male athlete. Who really do you want to win then? You know, I don't know. I mean, I know there's a lot of that's a hot.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you. I don't know how I would feel, but every time I see a guy with three athletes, I start tripping.
Dude, I'm selfish. I'm selfish as shit. If my coach had some other individual, I'd be like, fuck that. But he's not that type of guy anyways. We're pretty locked in. So
do you and Hopper have a code, or the people you're on a thread with, like, hey, we're going to do this workout, not to share the times you guys get outside of your group? Or do you guys
I would never share Jason's times with someone else if he gave it to me, and vice versa. I know that.
That's just the code.
Well, me and I don't know. I mean, I think it's probably been I probably like he would like ask me all my time. I was like, you better not fucking tell anybody. But I don't care if you know it because you're not gonna beat it.
Right.
Or vice versa. He'll give me a score that I couldn't touch, and but I'm not gonna. Yeah, I like Jason. If I want anyone to do well, it's him.
Can you tell us what you said to him that was mean at the Open? Wasn't like something like really mean, like, hey, you shorted your reps? Or
I can tell you exactly what I said to him. I can tell you exactly what happened. So it was the first.
Don't burn the bridge, though. I want you guys to stay friends.
I'm not gonna burn the bridge because we kissed and made up, and he's gonna laugh when I'm telling you guys this. So It makes me look like a dick. We were talking a lot of shit leading up to the Open, and when they announced wall walks and double unders, I knew I was going to beat his ass because he's just a bigger guy. He's a really good handstand walker and handstand push-up, but that workout also has some cycle speed involved because there wasn't a height in terms of getting whatever. So I did the workout. And I think the first time I was going to do one and done every single Open workout. So I do that workout and I'm like pretty happy with it. I think I was 14 minutes flat. So a minute under the cap. Not an amazing score, but I beat the cap. I'm good with that. And then Jason did it. And I don't know if he told me, I found out I think he told me he got capped or something. So I kind of LOL'd a little bit. And I knew he said he wasn't going to redo it. And I didn't think he needed to. In reality, he didn't to qualify because it was such a broad net of athletes that go to quarterfinals. But, our egos are big. So you're not going to get capped on a workout and be satisfied with that. But anyways, like we were talking shit about who's going to win the first workout. I spanked him on the first workout first time. And then I hear somehow that he goes and redoes it and beats my time like a couple seconds. And doesn't tell me that he redid it, dude. So he didn't even fucking say he redid it.
Woo!
Dude, I'm
sitting liking this story.
So listen, I'm thinking this fucking snake in the grass just redid his workout, beat me, and doesn't even tell me it. I was just getting more heated and more heated. And the stuff was coming out about, like Sean Sweeney made this post about, make sure your standards are right. And so then it started this frenzy of everyone redoing that workout. And like I'm coaching my CrossFit Latinos class at 7 p.m. and I saw that CrossFit push the deadline 7 p.m. Monday to push the deadline to submit it to like 9 p.m. I'm like there with my dick in my hand. I'm like thinking about how pissed I am that Jason redid it and beat me by a couple seconds and how everyone's redoing it from the standard. I'm like, fuck this guy. I'm redoing it right now. And so I pull up the group text between him and JR and I was like, hey, Jason, I just want you to know that I'm about to redo 21.1 and I'm going to fucking destroy your score even though I don't know it. And I sent that to him before I did it.
And up until then he didn't even know that you knew that he had redone it.
Yeah. So I sent that and then we didn't talk to each other for like 2 weeks and I was like, dude, I'm sorry. That was me.
Hey, did you send that to him to put pressure on yourself to beat it?
No, I knew I was going to beat it, but I was just really pissed that he didn't tell me he redid it and beat my time. So I wanted him to know that I was going to bury him.
Awesome.
But he's a fit guy, dude. Crazy what he did at the Mac.
Insane.
Yeah.
I have to pee. Brian, can you keep the show going so it's like relatively interesting?
Let's talk about CrossFit now. Sevan's gone.
Who should I put in charge?
Definitely Sevan. Dude, so Ryan Jevning, that's interesting. He competed at Granite Games 2018 when I was there.
Oh, yeah. Talk about him. That's interesting that you know that. He just told me yesterday, he's like, he's so chill. And then the other day he just said, I don't remember what he said, but it was on a phone call. Oh, yeah, we were doing a debrief, me, him, and Brian. And he's like, oh, yeah, I took 201st in the quarterfinals or 199th or something like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember what he said. And I could even though Brian's fucking 2,000 miles from me, I could hear Brian's brain start turning. He's like, "What? How do I not know what?" Hey, I'll tell you something else that I haven't shared with Brian yet either. The other day, I was just on a call with Ryan. God, I hope Ryan doesn't hate me for this. And he says to me, he goes, and he's very chill. I know a lot about CrossFit too. I think I can hang with Brian with the stats and shit. Like I think I can hang. I'm like, damn.
Dude, this is a new realm that these go pee, man. We'll talk.
Okay. Yeah, you see me doing the pee dance?
Yeah, dude, get out of here, bro. So bro, I feel like this is really new in the stat part of the CrossFit space. I mean, it used to be like Pat Sherwood and Sean Woodland, but they really weren't talking about it unless it was live during games events. So this kind of stat realm, I feel like is kind of, I like it.
No, there's always been a guy who is the CrossFit statistician who's providing those stats to them, and it's been the same guy for 10 years really. You've probably heard his name on some of the shows. It's Chad Schrader, and he's got better databases and more information than anyone I know. Maybe even more than definitely more than you can find on the game site. I think I even have more than you can find on the game site in some regards, but. In the last couple of years, and I think specifically coming out of the media collapse from CrossFit and then the sanctional season, there just started to be such an influx of relevant athletes because of the way the season expanded.
Yeah.
That guys like me and maybe, guys like Ryan and I think there's actually a bunch of people who are doing stuff like this for the last, between like 2014 and 2018, maybe, that just started to have more opportunity to be relevant, as it was much more hard to like navigate the entire season.
Yeah. Interesting. I like it. I've always fancied myself to know the field pretty well. I mean, I grew up a fan in the sport, And
so I've just tried to stay like, I feel like I have like a good surface knowledge of a lot of things. And then there's a few things that I have a lot of depth of knowledge also. So I know a lot of masters athletes, but I couldn't tell you like the history of their competitive performance.
Jeff Tinter?
I know the name. Like I would recognize that.
So he was my boss before I moved to Indy. Yeah, he was my boss.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, Jeff's the man.
Wow, that's a crazy lineage too right there you're from.
Yep. I love Jeff.
Yeah.
He was the first person, I think, really to believe in me. I think I was doing an 18 workout. Yeah, he was the first to be like, you could be pretty good.
In his day, he was, I don't remember, it was 2008 or 9. He was one of the most fierce people I'd ever seen work out. Like he was in that elite level. Like
I could tell you some stories about him training at the gym.
Yeah, he was a savage. How old is he now?
I want to say he's 50 or 51, maybe.
Okay, so I probably met him 15 years ago, and he's probably like 35, and he was
fit,
absolute. Oh my god, intense as a mofo.
Yeah,
and a pleasant man, soft-spoken, pleasant man.
Yeah.
Brian, is there anything I got in the pee break? We said Travis Mayer's name. We touched a little bit on the personal life.
Who's the most interesting athlete you've had on the podcast? I want to know your thoughts on this. Fun to talk to.
You're pretty easy.
Sevan, I was going to say Tincher is one of the guys you could have chosen for the Last Second Counts documentary. He ended up in the top 10 that year.
Yeah, easily. He's really soft-spoken.
Yeah, he's quiet.
He's very soft-spoken. He would have been, but then again, Josh Everett back then was very soft-spoken too.
I love that he was doing split squat snatches and split snatches and split cleans.
Josh Everett, is that the Catalyst Athletic guy?
No, that's
a different Everett.
That's Greg Everett.
Yeah.
Greg Everett.
Different Everett.
I don't think we don't have a favorite person who's ever been on the podcast. I don't think. No, there's no one like. I'm trying to think.
Not you. Who do you enjoy? Me. Who do you enjoy fooling with the most, dude? Over your podcast?
Brian's my favorite person, and that's why he's been on 60 episodes, 59 episodes, or whatever.
He can
Or
sometimes
30 episodes.
dude, you can say something that like I will fucking lose it laughing, and he just sits there on his mic. He's like, and he looks away. I'm like, dude, how is he not losing it right now, dude? That's why he's on here.
So basically people interpret, I get DMs every day where people interpret everything that Brian's does, his reactions to what I'm saying differently. So like, it'll be the same reaction and someone will be like, oh, Brian thinks you're so stupid, or Brian knows you're talking out of your ass, or man, Brian loves you. I could tell he's laughing really hard inside. So it's like those, like when he doesn't reveal what he's showing, that's just for, and
he was just
if you hate,
yeah,
if you hate me, then you're like, yeah, Brian really hates you. Or if you think I'm funny, you're like, yeah, Brian's laughing his ass off inside. So he's just this blank, like, interpret him as you want.
It's a good balance.
Mean, yeah.
Taylor,
go ahead.
A lot of people have been asking me about what Jason's realistic potential is at the games, and the way I've been answering it, I would be curious if this makes sense to you. So basically what I think is he's amongst a small group of men who has the potential to win the games, maybe 4 or 5 guys. But I also
this year?
Yeah, this year. But I also don't think if I was just ranking the athletes like 1 through 40 of the best athletes there that I would put him in the top 5. Does that make sense? Like to say that he's one of the only 5 that could win, but if I was ranking him 1 through 40, I might put him like 9th or something.
I get what you're saying. I think Jason can win the games. I think he can. And yeah, I'm biased for sure. But look what he did. This is my opinion of him. The guy is a competitor. Like very much so. So, you know, I think it is one thing to beat someone in training, and that's not detracting from me because I know I'm extremely fit. He is, and he's also has he has that sharpened competitive skill as well. And he's hungry. I think that is very, very underplayed and under talked about in terms of guys that are going to go win the CrossFit Games. I'm sure those guys are hungry, but I mean, I know Jason pretty well. He knows me pretty well.
It's such a crazy year. I feel like there are
crazy.
8 guys.
How did that affect you when he said that, Brian? Did that move? That moved me just now when he said that? How did that affect you?
That's That's exactly what I want to hear.
He's a very hungry individual, and I think.
But when you hear Taylor say that, does that like, do you feel his like needle, Jason Hopper, like raising your rankings? Will you take what Taylor said as a data point?
Yeah, I will. But
I also think, and this will be the last time I jerk his meat, but I also think he's like, yeah, I don't know. I think there are a lot of competitors that kind of have that nice, they don't seem as mentally aggressive in competition, or killer instinct. That's exactly what the phrase I'm looking for. He's got a killer instinct. And I do too. I think I didn't have that at Granite Games. I fucking snuffed it out of me with the thruster workout, but
I'm telling you, the amount of guys that have the killer instinct at the semifinals is small. The amount of guys that have it at the games is a lot more.
Yeah, I get that, but look at, and I'm not comparing at all, but if you look at, this is a great example. I think Matt Fraser had the best killer instinct of anyone, and it was so much better than everyone else's that no one stood a fucking chance.
What about Tia's?
Well, I'm talking the men's field, but yeah, same exact.
I mean, she exudes that shit, right?
The gap in the women's field with the killer instinct, I think, is even more. Hers.
I don't know about that. I would say that I think that Haley Adams has a killer instinct.
Oh, that's good. That's a good point. Very good. I think Haley probably has that immensely. You're right. Spot on there.
And Caron has it. Don't you think?
But there's still a gap. What I'm saying is Haley might have just as killer instinct as
There's
Tia.
A physical gap between Haley and Tia, I think, but the mental one's narrow because Haley is, you're right. But I think Jason probably has that as good as any of the field that'll be at the games, mental killer instinct, hunger-wise, I think. The physical side, I don't know. I don't know what the programming is, but I think the mental.
Yeah, you do. It's CrossFit.
Yeah, exactly. Look what he did at the MAC. That was good.
No, I think he's in the mix. I think he's in the mix for sure. But I think there's 10 guys that feel like this is their best chance to have their best performance at the game this year, and they've known that for 8 months.
Yeah, well, that's every man. That's every male competitor. When Matt retired, it's like guys who fucking were 500 in the Open last year were like, oh, I'm going to the games and winning, dude.
But I mean, these guys that I'm talking about are guys that have been knocking on the door, that have been on the podium, top 5, multiple years, 6 to 9 years experience at the games.
They've also been beaten in the dirt 9 years by Matt Fraser. Jason hasn't. I don't know that plays a part. I don't know if it does, but Jason hasn't been beaten on that level. And like you look at someone who's worked so hard for 6 years and they're like, fuck, dude, I can't do any more to beat him. That's got to be pretty demoralizing, dude.
Until the day he retires.
Exactly. But then you have somebody new who's just as hungry as you are, but has never been beaten like that and doesn't know that defeat. I don't know. It's hard. I think it'd be really, has there ever been a rookie to win the CrossFit Games? No. So there's a first for everything. Okay. All right. You know what I mean, though. That's hard to do. So I think it's extremely hard to do. I think if there's ever been a rookie that could win the games, I think Jason's probably as close of a Haley too.
Jason Kalipa.
Oh, yeah, 2009.
8.
8. Sorry. Let me ask you this, guys. What do you think about the fact someone sent this to me today? They said, hey, there's about to be a big change in CrossFit athletes. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, well, the NBA went from having, and I forget what the position is. I don't know if it's power forward or what, to that position. They said used to be 6'4" was the perfect height. And then all of a sudden the new perfect height overnight became 6'9". And that they were basically saying the evolution of the sport is now that there's all the agile big men are now have been doing CrossFit long enough that they're going to pop up on the scene and rule the roost, that we're going to see just a size increase. Think there's any truth to that?
Who said that?
Just some random, it's just some random guy in my DMs.
Dude, I don't look. Colton Mertens and all these other guys qualified that are the exact opposite. So I don't know that that's true. I mean, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know shit about that, to be honest. Is it? I think CrossFit rewards being good at everything.
I mean, based on the size of the guys who've qualified for the games this year, Mertens is a huge outlier at 5'4", and the guys that are closest to him are 5'7", or at least this is what they're all listed at. And those are Noah Olsen and Jona Koski. Yeah, and those guys have been around for 7 years, and they're we don't know how long they'll be able to stay around as this new wave of guys pops up. I think there's a dozen guys 6 feet or taller this year at the games, and I haven't checked, but I think that's pretty rare.
But look at this. And this is also interesting to note. This is also the first time we've been through 2 tests virtually that have a strength test that have that much of a points disparity across in terms of all of the other strength or all of the other workouts. Like, dude, and this is I'm a much better front squatter now than I was at quarterfinals, and I'll continue to get better. But dude, I took 800th in the fucking. I blew it on the front squat and I PR'd. I was like happy about my PR. Still took 800 points, and I was like top 30 on every other workout. But
what was your front squat?
337.
Quarterfinals.
337.
And you've already beat that, and you've already done more than that.
I know I can do more than that now for sure. Yeah, no, without a doubt.
And what do you think about this deadlift in the to sort of push that theory even further?
Well, it's a much smaller field. It's a much smaller field. So
and it might be a different scoring system. I have to assume it's a semifinal scoring system. Since it's listed with the other semifinals.
Yeah.
100, 96, 92.
Yeah.
Which is different than 1 to 10,000 or whatever.
Yeah. So he's right about that. So I think that probably has a little bit to do with why there's a lot of bigger guys. But at the same time, like in years past, it would be the open straight to regionals. So you have a lot of littler guys do better in the online stuff. But then so many of them make it to regionals that it's just a smaller field where I think some of the athletes that have more power and are a little larger tend to do a little better at the bigger at them. I don't know. But there's definitely a different template for. I don't know. Maybe I'm foolish.
Look at the first workout. The first workout is row and dumbbell hang snatch. A big guy can cycle the shit out of that, right?
Oh yeah, that's not a little guy's workout.
And look at the second workout. The second workout is 3-rep max deadlift. That's a big guy's workout again, right?
Not necessarily.
Yeah, not necessarily.
I think the deadlift because of range of motion.
Yeah, range of motion, but also, dude, some short guys can deadlift.
And then you have 100 burpees to a target. And I know generally that is
an equalizer.
I know generally that's a little man's workout, but how about when it's just 100 straight? Because what do you think about that? Does that change it as opposed to it just being like?
I think the 12 inches changes it. I don't think that. Yeah, I don't know. I know some not small athletes that are pretty good at burpees.
And this is something that hasn't been talked about. A 12-inch jump for a taller guy is still easier than a 12-inch jump for a shorter guy. So even though they're jumping the same height, yes,
percentage-wise, it's for sure. Like I don't have an issue with that 12-inch target at all.
And then that last workout, is that the fourth workout? Double under, squat cleans, legless rope climbs. I mean, you could say that
it's not a big person's work. It's a CrossFit workout. That's pretty even. I'd say that's pretty even. You got to be good at legless, but also the clean's not very heavy either, relative to the field at least.
What if I said I would just rather see the two guys that win workout 4 go to the games?
I wouldn't disagree with that a big time because that is a games workout. But at the same time, I think I mean,
if there's a guy that takes 3rd, 4th, and 5th on workouts 1, 3, and 5, and takes 23rd on workout 4 and misses the games by 1 point, I don't know.
You mean takes 23rd place on workout 4?
Workout 2.
Two. Oh, on the deadlift.
Saying if they have 3 top 5 finishes in the other workouts, bottom 5 or 7 in the deadlift, and miss the game by a point.
I know who I'd rather see go to the games as well. I get what you're saying, but it's not up to the athlete. You got to be strong enough to survive and fit enough to survive. So it's our job. It's our job to do
So
that.
You really like workout 4, Brian? That's an interesting.
I love that workout too. It's a great workout. It reminds me of first cut, kind of. It's a triplet, legless, a weightlifting movement. Yeah, it's first cutty. It's just not a snatch. It's a clean.
I don't feel like there was a ton of testing done for Last Chance Qualifier. Could be wrong with that, but I bet that this one was tested because I'm curious how they settle on the weights.
It's not super heavy relative to the field.
Yeah, exactly.
We've
seen heavier squat clean ladders in the open.
Oh yeah, it's a rope climb workout for sure. It's 15 legless rope climbs.
Yeah.
Is it 11 o'clock at your house right now? 11:46 p.m.
Oh yeah, dude, we're fucking raging. That's cool. I think this is the
what
longest
time would
athlete. Dude, I'd probably be in bed reading right now, to be honest. I'm on the.
Oh, you'd still be awake?
Dude, I'm on Wheel of Time. Have you read that series?
No.
Have you heard?
I know that series,
I don't read fiction.
I haven't read it.
Oh, I don't read fiction. All right, dude.
I don't read fiction.
You should. It's great. Anyways, Wheel of Time is sick. I cannot put it down. Yeah, it's been fucking me up.
Ryan, how come you're not putting up any images? Can you put up can we know that you didn't fall asleep and you put up the cover of the book Wheel of Time or something like that?
Yeah, Wheel of Time. Pull that up. Robert Jordan, Jesus. One of the best book series ever. Probably the best series of books I've ever read.
That's Ryan's first time he's talked in the history of the show.
Ryan, do you remember me from Granite Games 2018? I told that's why I brought that up, dude. I remembered your name. Dude, I have the because I'm always creeping the leaderboard. I have the sharpest memory.
Plus, it's a unique last name.
Yeah, but you also didn't you win like the Dakota Games or something, the Fargo Games or something like that? I think I saw one of the judges I met at Granite Games 2018, Tui Lee. Yeah, she's the shit. Yeah, she's really cool. I know. Yeah, I saw it. It's so cool. Yeah, so I saw her again at Granite, but are you bringing Wheel of Time up? The Dragon Reborn is the one I'm on, the 4th book. It's like a 9-book series.
Is it a movie yet?
No, but dude, I don't want them to make it a movie. They'll fuck it up.
But if you've read the book, it's kind of cool anyway, right? Because then you can fill in all the parts they fucked up.
I can, and I can also watch it and be like disgusted with how bad of a job they did.
Right?
Know? Does that ever happen? I mean, you know what I'm talking about.
I remember reading an interview with a vampire and then seeing the movie, and the movie was horrible, but it was okay with me because I just filled in all the shitty parts because I was like, oh, I can just I know what happened.
Yeah. That's it. I think it's the first book. Eye of the World for sure. Dude, fantasy fiction is so good. I can't believe you don't read fiction, Sevan. Not ever?
No, not. I mean, I can't remember the last time I read any fiction. But give me something. Tell me what I should read.
Dude, read this freaking. Well, okay, what do you like? If you're gonna go watch like a movie, sci-fi, like, what kind of movie are you gonna watch? Spy thriller, like some Jack Reacher shit, or Lord of the Rings?
I don't really watch movies either. Like if I watch a movie, it'll be just something like a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, an old one, or old Steven Seagal movie I've already seen 25
Steven
times.
Seagal is my grandpa's. He was my grandpa's favorite actor, dude. That's so funny. Steven Seagal, dude. He's a cop. You know that, right?
I didn't know that.
He's an actual police officer. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
I just know that towards the end of his career, he got so obese that he had to wear a trench coat in every film. I think
he was pretty. It's interesting that your definition of the way he was at the end is so obese. You would have definitely called me an obese kid then.
I mean, he's holding 80 pounds.
He was
holding.
80, maybe 60.
I mean, his head doubled in size. When you start getting a fat head.
Oh my God, dude. All right. The book you should read is you should look up Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan and start. It's a good series. You know, it'll take you a really long time to get through it because you don't read. But you'll like it.
Do they have an audiobook version?
I'm sure they do. Yeah. It's like.
Is the author still alive? I only read books where I think I can get the author on my podcast.
No, he died. Alive? Actually, he died.
Oh, that sucks.
Dude, this is like the pioneer of like fantasy fiction.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Oh, you know what? You know what the last fiction I read Stranger in a Strange Land. Have you read that?
No. What's it about?
Instant classic. You should read it. Instant classic.
I will.
He was friends with who's this? L. Ron Hubbard.
Oh my God! It's about L. Ron Hubbard.
No, it's not about L. Ron Hubbard, but he wrote fiction in the same time with Ray Bradbury and L. Ron Hubbard. They were all contemporaries, and they all hung out together. I want to say it was even in California. Robert Heinlein. It is the greatest book I've ever read.
Is it? So are you a fan of L. Ron Hubbard then? Because it sounded like you.
No, I haven't read anything of his.
Okay.
I haven't read anything of his. I probably should. I've always wanted to read that first Scientology book. What is it, like Dianetics or something? I never have.
Have you seen the documentary Going Clear?
Oh, I watched all those documentaries. I used to make documentaries, dude. So I'm just like, eh. And then another great book I would recommend if you really like fiction is I would read Stephen King's only nonfiction book. It's called On Writing. It is fucking amazing.
Really? I will read that for sure.
Oh my God, it is so crazy.
Dude, since I've been sober, I've read almost 1,000 books. Isn't that crazy?
What?
Yeah. I have.
Since I was born, I almost read 1,000 books.
Dude, I got obsessed. Dude, I'm so obsessive. I have like 400 on my Kindle. Maybe closer to 800. So close to 1,000, but not like within still a while. But I got about 400 on my Kindle and the rest.
Hey, dude, all I hear is that you're missing a lot of good Instagram posts. You should be posting pictures of every book every time you finish a book.
Dude, maybe I should just.
Do you have a girlfriend?
Should I start an OnlyFans?
Do you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend? Do you have any relationship?
Wow, I'm talking to a girl right now. I like her. She's really cool. Yeah.
Does she live in your town?
Yeah, dude. Well, she lives 30 minutes away from me. Yeah, no, we're not like talking on Instagram.
Did you meet her on the internet?
No, we met her. She did a competition at my gym, and I slid into her DMs. I was actually we were laughing the other day about how cringy. Dude, I did not have good game. It was pretty bad, but it worked.
Yeah, you met someone in real life. I mean, that's better than most people's game. You don't hear that very often anymore. So does she know you like her?
Yeah, for sure. We've been on a ton of dates. Like, we're dating.
Oh shit. Your life's way complicated. He's not making it to the games.
Oh, get the fuck out of here, bro.
He's got too many distractions.
Get the fuck out of here.
Too many distractions. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, there's no distractions, bro. Dude, she did Murph with me in 41 minutes. That's probably better than you would ever do Murph.
What did she do it with the weight vest?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never even done it with the weight vest.
What? You could do that.
That's like 30% of my body weight.
If you come to Andy's gym, he wouldn't let you do Murph without the weight vest.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's no way.
That's
for
abusive.
You? No, dude, for you've been around the block.
I have been around the block.
Yeah, so I would be reading right now, but
you don't have to talk, by the way, in this podcast. Someone wrote in the comments the other day, Sevan, your long pauses are not intellectual. I had to look up the word intellectual. I'm like, yeah, obviously they're not intellectual. They're me waiting for my brain to fucking start talking, dumbass. I'm not just going to talk for the sake of fucking talking. I'm waiting for my brain to give me something.
If you had a job in like Middle Ages, you would be the king's wit. That's exact. Do you know what that is? It's like the person.
No, but it's better than the king's twit.
Dude, you're smart. You're a smart guy. I love it because you catch people with things sometimes and it goes over their head. But like the king's wit would be the person who like does all the shit talking for the king that he doesn't have to do. Like make people feel like fools about themselves. You know?
But I don't have to fight, do I?
No. Like if somebody fucks with you, the king kills them. Like,
bitchin'.
That's perfect for you, dude. Because you could not physically defend yourself, but you also have you have a good wit, man. I like it.
I have a strong wife, a big ass dog, and a gun. Nice. Those are my 3 lines.
Is that your big ass dog I see in the background? Because that's not very big, bro, relative to you.
That's just the local troublemaker.
Gotcha.
I have 2 dogs.
I got my dog locked in the room. She's abusive.
What kind of dog? Oh, a healer, right? From the picture? Is it healer?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. She's the best. The smartest dog I've ever been around.
Yeah, smart dogs.
Extremely smart.
You take the dog to the gym with you?
She does go to the gym with me, yeah. She has kind of free, it's, some days are better than others, but I have a GPS collar for her, and she kind of just, like, sometimes she'll roam the business park a little bit, and I'll have to go get her, but she doesn't run off. She just, she's like a farm dog.
Does Andy let you bring her into the gym?
Yeah, he brings his dog. I mean, his dog is like fucking just lays under the whiteboard all day. But Cora is a little more active.
Do you know the origins of your last name, Self?
Self. It's Western European for sure. But other than that, no, I don't know.
Did your parents come through Ellis Island? Or your grandparents? Sorry, or your great grandparents? They did?
I think great. I don't know if they came through Ellis Island. My mom's side of the family ancestors came from Ireland, but that's not Self. It's my dad's side. I don't know where his family tree is a little muddier with the, with some alcoholic lineage there. So not as much.
It is a good name for a games champion. It's a marketable name, Taylor Self.
You like the name? Cool. That's important to me that it's a marketable name for sure.
Yeah. Jason Hopper, marketable.
It is marketable, yeah. Some people have shitty names.
Yeah, Brian's got a great name.
Brian Fran.
Just disarms everyone right away.
Very easy.
It does, right? Second. I mean, if you have your last name's Friend, everyone's just like, oh, hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, TSA is very easy for me.
TSA. Dude, so actually when I flew to Minnesota, get this, dude, I didn't put my mask on until I got to security checkpoint, whatever. And then right after I took it off, and I didn't put it back on again until I got on the plane. And then I let the nose ride. Are you a big fan of that? Would you give me a gold star for that?
For sure.
Nice.
For sure. They've lifted all mask restrictions where I'm living, and yet like everywhere I go, everyone's still fully. Yeah, everyone's fully masked. Everywhere I go, I feel like I'm the only one who's not wearing a mask.
And someone will be walking outside on the sidewalk and they have one on. I'm like, I mean, look, if that's what you want to do, but what are you thinking?
Yeah, it's a trip to me.
Crazy. I wonder how long do you think the ramifications of this will be seen and felt?
Forever.
Really? You think? And I feel like, okay, what happens when it's flu season? Are they just going to say, oh, wear your mask, it's flu season?
I don't know about that, but I within the first week, I knew, oh shit, like these people are already trained to wear their masks. They're already scared. Brian and I interviewed a guy. He's the head psychiatrist at some hospital in Stockholm, Sweden. And he's been a psychiatrist since 1986. And he basically told us we're in a mass delusional state. And he explained it pretty well. And he's got a great TED Talk on it. But people, and basically his whole premise is around this thing that people can't do risk or aren't doing risk assessment, which I call third grade math. And they aren't, and we're in a in the last 50 years, we've sort of been in a tailspin of people wanting more and more safety and more security, because it was kind of built into our DNA, right? Find a cave that bears and foxes and lions and tigers can't get into and try to survive. Well, we're the safest, healthiest, I don't know if the healthiest, we're the safest planet we've ever been for humans ever to exist. And instead of like relishing in the safety, we're crippling ourselves by trying to get more and more and more safe. And so we've lost all ability to, to assess it. What if you look at the rules that Australia and Canada have put on themselves,
insane,
specifically, and the UK, they've given, and this psychiatrist explained it to us, they've given themselves no exit strategy. So they made the goal of what would be safe so high that it can never be reached. So they'll be in a perpetual, trend of locking down, wearing masks, locking down, wearing masks, locking down, and they'll never get out of it. So,
dude, that post
go ahead.
I was gonna say that post you made today about the press conference with that Canadian official. Talking about, oh my God, dude, that scares the shit out of me. How crazy is that? That's happening. If you're a Canadian, if you're someone like who seems like a Canadian with a relatively, good head on your shoulders, are you thinking about getting out?
I don't know, but we interviewed one of my favorite Canadians of all time, Chris Cooper, and he kind of explained why it's happening the way it is like that in Canada. And I'm familiar with this because of my time spent in Europe and Northern Europe and some of those other socialist countries. And basically they have a deep faith in their government and their program, basically just to take orders. They don't even realize, like most people don't even realize they've been indoctrinated, right? They don't and that's a really powerful word. If you don't know the definition of that word, look it up. I look it up every couple of weeks just to make sure I'm sharp on the definition. They just don't realize they've been indoctrinated. And so that's really hard. It's like, that's really hard to break. I was indoctrinated, and it's really, really hard to break. It's tough to give up. It's really, really tough because it's who you think you are. So, I don't think someone said, hey, do you think that there's any good people on the left? Yeah, I think it's all good people.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's all good people. I have the tremendous faith in humanity. I believe in humanity. I don't even believe in evil, but I just think that it's like people don't realize they've been programmed to run off the cliff. And it's like, dude, just look up just a little bit. You're running full speed towards a cliff. Just look up.
Yeah.
But easier said than done, right?
For sure. You and Coach Andy would get along because you guys both have the big food, taking it, the good fight, fight the good fight, sugar.
So what was the deal with your Coke up there? Was that just to fuck with me, or you're chugging the Coke?
That was to fuck with you, dude. Dude, yeah, I can't drink Coke. That would make me feel like shit. I will say, like, sometimes if I go have a burger, I like a Coke Zero. I know it's not any better I know it's not any better, but what are you gonna do?
I would drink Diet Coke. I don't know under what circumstances. I would eat or drink pretty much anything.
Dude, this thing has
but there's circumstances for it.
This thing has 39 grams of sugar. It is 78% of your daily added sugar. That's pretty crazy. We're a big country. For sure.
I've heard that the stat I saw is that Mexico, I don't know what it is for the United States, but that in Mexico they consume 55% of their calories come from soft drinks.
Dude, I believe it. But dude, you walk into the grocery store and when you're checking out, it's like all the candy's right there for you to, your last chance to get your fix. That's crazy, dude.
Tomorrow I'm having the author of Ravenous on at 8:30 in the morning. That's kind of why I'm stressing right now that I need to get off and prepare more for it. But it's a story about Ravenous' is a story about a scientist, Otto Warburg, who won the Nobel Prize in 1931 or 1932. And he basically discovered that cancer cells consume 10 times as much sugar as regular cells.
Yeah.
And it's such an overlooked, and then it was kind of buried and lost forever.
I'm reading Metabolical right now.
Oh, what are you reading?
Metabolical. It's a book Andy gave me this book. It's about a similar topic. It's this doctor who was in the I'll just send it over in the group text. You'll get a better idea. But
Metabolical on Amazon.
So
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that's the guy right there. Robert Lustig's the guy. He's the sugar expert out of UC San Francisco. Yeah, he's the man. Oh shit, I should read that and see if I can get him on the podcast. Is that new?
Yeah. I don't know that it's new. Andy just read it.
It is new.
Yeah,
May 4th, 2021.
Oh, that's right, because it has a bunch of he opens the book railing our COVID response and kind of everything that's going on. You'd love it. Read that.
Well, that's the most fascinating thing about Ravenous. It's when cancer's coming and cancer's like exploding on the scene, and then the Nazis are fucking taking over basically Germany, and the parallels to what we're going on now, cancer, COVID, Nazis, and this fucking authoritarian rule that we're trying to be put under. It's nuts.
Yeah.
It is nuts.
I'm going to read that.
Parallels.
It's called
Ravenous.
Ravenous. Okay.
Yeah. And it's written so well. Another book I think you should read. I read this book right before I read Ravenous. I read a book called Range by David Epstein. Do you know that book?
No. What's it about?
Someone will probably correct me in the comments, but it's basically pop psychology. It's like Malcolm Gladwell stuff, but it's all about talking about the difference between specialists and people who have a broad scope of skills. In the opening introduction, they said they compare Tiger Woods, who was given a golf club at the age of 10 months old, versus Roger Federer, who is the greatest tennis player, and he played everything.
I heard you talk about this with Matt on the Josh Matt Sevan.
Yeah, it's awesome. It is so good. Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on.
Thanks
You're
for
our
having
third
me,
live show. You might be the only one where Brian had good audio. By the way, people, that really isn't Brian's fault. That's a compilation of errors. And like I said, thanks for sticking with us and letting us try to clear these technical issues.
Thanks for having me on, guys. I really enjoyed that.
Get after it this weekend.
Ryan,
we'll do.
It'd be fucking awesome to have you at the games.
Sweet.
And we've invested in you and doing a pot. We've invested in you. Oh, he hung up. Well, I was going to say is we've invested. No, Ryan did. We've invested in you doing